Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Antonia, thanks for joining us on the show, mate. How's everything going up there in Brisbane?
Brisbane, it's been good. Had a pretty uneventful day, just worked, but now I'm here, so it's fun.
Partying on a Monday night.
Monday night feels good.
Yeah, kick off the week talking tunes. It's always a good way. But
Love it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, VOIID, your band. You recently did Bigsound, is that right? Before we get stuck into it.
Yeah, literally last week, I think, last Tuesday.
How was that?
It was awesome. Super fun. I think Bigsound is one of those things where you never really know how it's going to go because it's kind of like a weird industry. You know, there's lots of big wigs there watching you. But it was awesome. We had a really great crowd. There was lots of people dancing. So yeah, really nice vibes.
Did you find it was a bit of pressure though? You know, there's obviously you're playing the show, but then you've got the other side of it, which is like you're there for business, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it is. There's always a bit of pressure. And I think it's just because when you go to a normal show, you're just like, oh, it's just like keeps people there to have fun and like vibe and do your thing. But with Bigsound, you're like, oh, there's people here who are actually watching because they might want to like make money off us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the showcase thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But did it go well? Did you get some cool stuff in the end out of it? Or did things move in the works?
Yeah, I think like because it was only last week, it's a bit too early to sort of tell. But I know there was like a lot of cool people there watching us, like some cool labels and some cool like agents, mainly kind of like international sort of agents. Yeah, which is very exciting. So fingers crossed, get some stuff out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exciting. That's so exciting for you guys. So awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is that your guitar case in the background? Or is that an amp?
Oh, it is my guitar case. Ooh, inverted video. I'm in my music room right now. So
yeah, nice.
Also my towel storage, obviously.
I'm in my studio / nerd room, so kind of.
Yeah, your setup is awesome. It's way better than mine. Very fun, but
yeah, switch the lights on. It's a different story. Just a big mess. But I saw a Vo. It was like Vo, and I was like, that must be a guitar case because you know.
Yeah, she's a bit crushed now. That's the one that I had from when I was like 18, but still kind of going sort of strong.
Yeah. Have you still got your first axe?
Oh, I actually don't. It was like a Squire P bass, and then I got my first Fender. So, and then I ended up selling it, I think, to someone. She's still the girl that I sold it to is still around because I've seen her, and she's like, "You sold me like your guitar," and I was like, "Oh, cool." And every now and again, I see her.
Oh, that's awesome. It's cool
yeah.
to know that it's gone somewhere that's, you know, it's getting more life out of it, you know, and then they pass it on. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I would sell a guitar now, but back then I was kind of like, I'm still kind of poor, but I was a poor 18-year-old, so like need money.
Yeah, I still don't have mine. You know, you go, oh, I got to sell this to upgrade, and now I go, oh, I kind of wish I still had that heavy old piece of crap. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, what if, like, I would probably never need it, but I'm like, what if there was just a situation where I needed it? And that's how I feel about, I'm just hoarding gear now.
Yeah, see, that's the musician thing, hey? Million.
Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse.
It is. But of course, VOIID have recently released your latest single, Lexapro, and it looks like it's been getting lots of love online, like Triple J online, Rage, and people are loving it. I'm seeing heaps of comments about it everywhere. How's the reaction from your side of things? I mean, being in the band and seeing it from the outside, you know.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, as you said, it's been so nice, like getting recognition from places like Triple J and Rage and like, so exciting. And yeah, it's like the first piece of music I released in a couple years. So it's been really nice, like as well, just having like regular people being like, oh, heard this like on the radio and I love it so much. And just like people coming up to you and saying that they love it is, it's been awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. It's awesome. I love the video too. It's cool.
Same. It's so great.
It's like what would you describe? It's like a garden in the sky with I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, it's so hard to describe, I think, unless you've like watched it, but that's kind of the vibe. It's almost like a weird garden inside a room that's also in the sky. Yeah. That's also like a collection of all of our rooms in one room. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, how am I going to describe this? And I'm like, but it's cool. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great concept. Who came up with it? Was crazy idea.
It was like a mix, like all of like, we all had an idea of what we wanted it to be like. We knew we wanted it to be like a performance video, and then sort of had like little elements that we had already. And then we worked with Tom Carroll, who like, he's incredible. And he was pretty much like, this is all the stuff that I can do. And then we can like take the weird little fairy box and we can make it in the sky, because I know how to do 3D stuff. So yeah, it was kind of like a big mix of like us four and then also Tom, which was really, really fun.
That's awesome. No, it came out really good. Yeah, I like it. And of course, musically, VOIID has elements that I guess resonate with me and my own teenage years. I'm very old. I'm sorry. My teenage years were in the 90s, early 2000s. So,
jealous.
But I mean, you guys have I guess, remind me of those. Like, when I was seeing bands like Nitocris and Magic Dirt and Veruca Salt and like Livid and stuff, you guys remind me of, or girls, I should say. Sorry, my old man speak. Everything. But it reminds me of those really good days. At a festival, watching those bands and just having the best days of my life. And that's what I think you capture it so well. And I think that's what also resonates with other people as well. Do you hear that? Is that what?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, by the way. That is such a big compliment. But yeah, I think that's like all of us listen and are like heavily influenced by all of those like 90s bands like Hole and Smashing Pumpkins and Veruca Salt and all of that. And yeah, I think that just like naturally comes across in the way that we write music. And it's really nice because I think all of us feel like Lexapro and this sort of new album, we finally have the tools and like, I guess, the ability for that to come across in our music, because I feel like it's something that we were always trying to do, but we never quite cracked the recipe on how to do it. Yeah, so it's really nice. That was kind of the vibe. We wanted this to feel like it could be out of like 10 Things I Hate About You, or like, something like that, like a 90s coming of age movie.
Love it. See, that's what I like grew up. So when I listen to it, I go, oh man, Smashing Pumpkins are my favorite band of all time. So when you mentioned it, I was like, oh yes. Love it. But what about your own influences? Like the player, who do you draw from the most?
I know if it's like necessarily like drawing from, but I love like Primus, and obviously Les Claypool is incredible. Not saying that I can play like him at all.
I think we've just become best friends, mate.
Yay. Yeah. So yeah, I think he's obviously incredible, and I think that like Primus is just so amazing in the way that they write music, where bass is like obviously very at the forefront. Yeah, and I also like, when I was like a teenager, listened to lots like desert rock, and I love like Caius and Queens of the Stone Age and think like Nick Oliveri is really incredible. Yeah, and also like obviously like Jennifer Finch from L7 and like Kim Gordon, badass ladies that I love. Yeah, so I'd say those are probably like the mains for me personally.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Like, you know, it's one of those things where like Claypool, like to me is, I hold him very high. Like he's the greatest, the GOAT, as the kids
God tier.
He is. And like, you know, I've had that conversation with so many people, you know, and they go, Flea with the no, Claypool. Like, yeah. Yes. So when I hear someone else say, I'm like, we're pals now. So that's yeah.
Anyone who listens to Primus, amazing.
it. But of course, putting a band together is like lightning in a bottle. You know, not only musically let me start that again. Not only musically compatible, but also, you know, personalities as well. Super important. And you girls seem like you're very close. You got this little sisterhood going, which is so special and so cool to see. Is that how you describe it?
Yeah, definitely. I think we are super, super lucky that we're all like just best friends and like love each other so much. And I think it's really interesting because all of us are actually like really quite different people, but so similar at the same time. So yeah, it really works. And yeah, I feel like so lucky every day that I just get to make music with my best friends. Oh, sounding so sappy, but it's true.
That's cool, you know, like, you know, I feel the same way about, you know, jam with the guys I'm jamming. You know, it's you look forward to that jam night, you know, it's that, you know, have a couple of beers. I don't know how you guys do it. You know, you have a beer and you hang out and you jam out and, you know,
yeah, definitely. And I think that's one thing I've like really learned from being in a band is that you like just spend so much time together, especially like on tour and stuff. So I think it's so important to like love the people that you're making music with, because if you don't, then like it'll just fall apart so quickly because you have to spend so much time together.
How did you meet? How did the band? You probably answered this question a million times before, but how did it all come together?
So Angie and Kate went to high school together in Rockhampton, and then when Kate graduated, she moved to Brisbane for uni. And I think just met Mina like through social media. And then I met Kate at Splendor in 2016, and we just bonded over King Gizzard and some warm beer, and then we all became best friends.
You played Splendor, right?
No, not yet. Big dream. I wish. It'd be sick.
Yeah. What's the? But you played with the King Giz guys.
Oh yeah, we played Giz Fest. So that was in 2017. Yeah, that was sick.
Done heaps of cool stuff though. Like, but is there, apart from Splendor, is there something on the bucket list?
I just think touring like overseas would be so cool. Like the UK or America or Japan would be awesome. Also playing like Glastonbury or like Lollapalooza would just, or like Reading and Leeds would be like so insane.
Dream.
Yeah. It would just, I don't know what I would do. It'd be so crazy.
You haven't been overseas yet?
Not as a band, no. Definitely like as soon as we can, we are going to make it happen. But yeah, expensive when you're from Australia, unfortunately.
I know. I just had mates that come back from Europe, and they're like, "Man, we had a good time. Boy, we broke."
Yeah, exactly.
But Japan's my dream. That's where I would love to tour, because I just hear that they're just so crazy for metal over there. Well, music in general, but you know, just hear how awesome it is.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think it's one of those places where there's like a niche for everything. And people are just, I don't know, for some reason, Japan, people just seem so stoked about music and so stoked to just be like at shows. So I just think it would be so cool.
I was talking to a mate of mine, Tommy, from a band called The Wrath. I don't know if you heard of a band called The Wrath down here on the coast. But legendary coast punk band. Shout out to.
Cool.
But they toured Japan and they went and they've got this thing where all the bands have a meeting before the gig where it's like they call it a meet and greet, and they're like, oh, we're doing a meet and greet. No, all the bands get together, have dinner together and have a beer together and get to know each other, so there's that camaraderie, and then they play the show. But all the back lines like top of the line. He said like the local venues they're like, oh yeah, here's just tick off this sheet what amp you want to use. What, and he's like, what do you mean? It's like it's like next level. He's like, that was the coolest thing, was the fact that all the bands get together and socialize instead of just, hey man, yeah, amp over there.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. It sounds so sweet and like wholesome.
Oh, right. Man, I want to do it one day.
One day we'll get there.
But you're going to be hitting the road next month in support of the single, which is going to be awesome. Kicking off in Adelaide, right?
Yes.
What's all the dates?
Yes. Adelaide. And then just East Coast, keeping it pretty chill this time, but Adelaide and then Melbourne, and then the next weekend is Sydney, and then I think a couple of weeks after that is Brisbane, which will be fun. Nice to end on a hometown show.
Yeah. Is there anyone hitting the road with you on that one? I didn't.
Oh, there's heaps, and I'm not even going to be able to list all of them because we have different supports in every single state.
Yeah.
But all of the bands are amazing, and they were, we went through like all the bands that we love in all the different cities and managed to snag a few of them. Like I know we've got Pity Lips in Adelaide, who are really cool. A band called Boycott in Melbourne. Brisbane, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's all on our socials, so people can go have a look. I know that all the shows are going to be so special and so amazing.
Yeah, and the tickets on sale now, right?
They are indeed. I think the classic link in bio, that's where you'll find them.
I'll have them all in the show notes.
Oh, epic. There you go.
I'll put it all
in. Yeah.
But you mentioned before, and we skimmed over it, you said something about an album.
I did.
Hey,
you caught that, huh?
I did. I was like, oh, tuck that back here. Yeah, what's going on? It's your old mate Nev. Come on, give some gossip.
Yeah. I don't think it's even a secret. Like I'm pretty sure we've posted about it so much when we were recording. But yes, there is an album on the horizon. Yeah, it's all recorded, all done, and like ready to go. So now it's the fun part where we get to slowly release it, like single by single, until the whole thing comes out.
Oh, that's okay. Because so are you going to do one or two, or the whole?
Not the whole thing. I think we'll probably do maybe 3 or 4 singles, and then hopefully a couple tours, and then album out sometime next year.
Has it got a name?
Ooh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Oh, it's got you. I have this.
Almost.
I won't get you in trouble. I got someone in trouble the other day.
I know. I always just go by like what's been put on the internet and what hasn't.
Yeah, it's
like, if someone else has said it, but I don't think we have. But it's really cool.
Can you maybe tell me what it starts with?
I'll just say it involves, the whole concept involves like flowers.
Wow. Okay, because that could be anything.
Could be anything. And it has a very deep, fun meaning.
Okay, because I have nothing. Okay.
Yeah, that was very cryptic of me. I'm sorry.
And then it'll come out and go, that was so obvious. Like, why did you?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
mate, that's awesome. I'm so excited for you girls. Like, finishing the year so strongly like that. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a really cool year, and hopefully next year will just be even more cool.
Yeah. So, what else is cooking? What else other news can you drop?
I feel like we've covered like pretty much all the bases, the tour, the album. I guess I'm probably allowed to say this, but hopefully maybe there'll be another song out before the end of the year. If all goes to plan, take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I guess just keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And a video, maybe?
Yeah,
Oh.
I reckon video.
Yeah. Well, all right. Keep your secrets. But mate, it's been awesome hanging out with you on this show. The new single Lexapro is out right now. We'll have all the links down here in the show notes with the tour dates, and we will see you in Brisbane. But everyone else out there, get your tickets. You down there, I can see you. Get your tickets. Mate, thanks for hanging out, and we will see you very soon.
Yay, thanks for having me. This was so fun.